Get ready. Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, at the very outset, I cannot help pointing out that wheat procurement and distribution policy of the government of India has been marked by a stop go attitude both in respect of governmental as well as private trade effort. Almost overnight, a decision was taken at the AICC session held in Bombay in December 1969 that government should take over the procurement and distribution of wheat through state agencies. I am aware that even earlier the ruling party was wedded to this ideology. My point is that the decision was arrived at without adequate homework. It is one thing to formulate resolutions and another to implement them. A political party can more easily indulge in the pastime of drawing up resolution than for any government to translate the resolutions into effective action. Our Prime Minister took a hard decision to modify this policy so that the objectives of procuring enough wheat for public distribution system and take care of the vulnerable sections of the people are served fully through procurement efforts on the part both of state agencies and private trade. However, anyone who was following the development really readily recognized that quite a few state governments either did not understand the intent behind the new policy or were unwilling to make it a success for reasons of their own. In fact, the policy, to the extent it was implemented, was confined to two states, Punjab and Haryana. The home state of the Prime Minister has hardly contributed to the public distribution system. While saying this, I should like to add that the trade organizations overpitched the claim to procure wheat. I can understand governmental machinery making wrong estimates about the wheat crop and the procurement possibilities. But it is extraordinary that the trade should have made such a grievous error. Possibly the trader thought it politics to exaggerate its capabilities so that it might be acceptable to the authorities on the one hand and also persuade the farmers to part with their stocks on the other. Once a psychology of plenty was created, the farmer in India is no less a businessman than a trader. He was quick enough to assess the situation and sit on the stocks for larger gains. According to one estimate, even today, 30 to 40% of marketable surplus is yet to come into the market. This is one side of the picture. There is another point to be kept in mind. It is that the production of coarse grain this year has been fairly satisfactory with the removal of interstate restrictions in the movement of these grains. Their prices in deficit areas have been kept at reasonable levels. It is not merely the question of price level but also of availability. The consumer therefore retreated back to their staple diet namely coarse gains. This has eased the pressure on the public distribution system so far as supply of wheat is concerned. Another factor to be noted is that this time a good bit of wheat has been purchased directly by the consumers and the roller floor mills. This facility was not available last year. In fact, as a result of this, as the Honorable Minister himself has admitted, the availability this year is better. This also has reduced the burden on the public distribution system. Therefore, the policy at work has neither fully succeeded nor can it be said that it has wholly failed. There are both negative and positive features. I would strongly urge upon the government not to take panicky action and drastically revise the policy at this juncture. The current policy should be given a longer lease of life so that all the implications become evident and both authorities and public know what is what. In this connection, I wish to suggest to Honorable Minister, who had already shown his dynamism in a short while after being entrusted with the portfolio of food, to impress upon the state governments to pull their weight in making government's policy a success. What is heartening more than anything else is that the Prime Minister is taking direct interest in the problem. She has gone round the country, and I know that her visits have spurred not a few chief ministers to put their own administrative machinery in order. Sir, the Agricultural Prices Commission proposed that the procurement prices of wheat should be rupees 20 per quintal than last year's prevailing prices. But due to pressure and demand put forward by rich farmers and big traders, to which the chief ministers of Haryana and Punjab also lent their support, the price was fixed at rupees 105 per quintal. Now this price is much more than what the Agricultural Prices Commission suggested. The wholesaler was permitted to operate in the market on the understanding that they will procure 50% for the government and the balance will be sold in the open market. The general belief is that the commitment has not fulfilled. Sir, before I close, I wish to sound a note of caution. International exports have already hosted distress signal on the food front. It will be unrealistic to ignore this distress signal and to expect that temporary scarcity can be made good by imports because the availability of wood itself may sharply decline. If we are to be self reliant, then it is in the field of agriculture that we must first concentrate. As our late Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru often used to say, first things comes first. Hence, neither the government nor political parties nor different economic groups should confuse the issue by putting forth the argument that unless May things are done, Simultaneously, even the highest priority project cannot be operable. While the argument is valid to some extent, it has the greatest danger. Stop.